The Betty Ford Center in Rancho Mirage is one of the most well-known treatment centers for those struggling with substance dependence. The Hazeldon Betty Ford Foundation has just named its next president and CEO, Dr. Joseph Lee, who is an experienced addiction medicine doctor and psychiatrist. I spoke with Dr. Lee today about the organization's 8th president, which is now what his title is, and his thoughts on the pandemic and the organization's future. Dr. Lee, it's nice to meet you. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us, Peter.
You're not only the first non-white CEO in the organization's 72-year history, you're also the youngest.
Yeah, I am the youngest CEO at Hazeldon Betty Ford, and it's a lot of firsts. And I have to give credit to the organization. They were very intentional in grooming me for leadership in all these years. And it's a very powerful and historic legacy that I get the honor of carrying forward. And being an Asian American, legacy and history means a lot to me. You know, everything that First Lady Betty Ford did for the Betty Ford Center and for championing against stigma for addiction, we're ready to take that forward to another level.
Well, certainly during the pandemic, we've heard a lot of stories about people who have struggled with addiction or become addicts as a result of all of the restrictions. Do you think that makes it even more challenging for your organization going forward?
There are challenges and there are opportunities. You know, we all remember 2020. It was a very difficult and traumatic time for everybody. And we saw that not all people were affected the same way. And just like people and businesses weren't affected the same way, people with mental health and addiction issues also tended to fall through the cracks more. And we see those statistics. And so that's the grim reality about it. But there's a lot of hope. We've improved virtual care services. We've been more creative. Regulations have lacked some. We have more partnerships than ever before. And more importantly, I think when it comes to stigma, the average American now finally understands what people in addiction and mental health issues, they understand what they go through. They have also tasted of the loneliness, the despair, the disconnection. And so I think there's a real tremendous opportunity to move forward in a positive way for our field.
Have you seen increased demand for addiction treatment?
There's absolutely skyrocketing demand. The issue is really access and some of the infrastructural stigma that makes it hard for people to get help when they need it. And so we can be creative and really broaden our banner, virtual services, technology, creative ways of reaching families and individuals where they are, not just figuratively, but physically where they are. But we need more. We need more resources.
Hazeldon Betty Ford, obviously a very important part of our valley. Where do you see the organization going under your leadership?
Well, we talk about uplifting other voices, broadening our banner, serving more people, serving more diverse communities, improving innovations, joining with the scientific community and building bridges. And so we're going to strengthen our base because we're going to have to do this together. That's a lesson we've learned in COVID is no one entity can do this alone. And there's a powerful legacy of championing the cause for addiction and mental health services right there with the Betty Ford Center. And we want to take that mission and that spirit and join with other people to do more, to serve more people.
All right. Dr. Lee, it was so nice to meet you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.